YouTube, what's going on? Woody P coming back with another one. Let's get it. Up at the court. Know what that means? Gonna talk some ball. Today. I'm gonna talk some of the best defensive guards of all time. And these guys could guard point guards, shooting guards, and they all had an iconic moment when they really had to step up and show their defensive prowess and really show that they can lock up. So I'm going to talk some of the best defensive guards of all time, and all these guys were champions too. Ironic, huh? All these guys were champions, and they can guard point guards or shooting guards, sometimes even small forwards, depending on what you may need. So the best defensive guards of all time. At the court, you know we got to talk some ball. Before I start the video, please watch the entire video. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this, just content about sports and various topics. Let's get it. Best defensive guards of all time. I'm going to start off with the best. Number one, I'm going to start off with the best. You got to know who this one is. Number one, Michael Jordan. 1988 Defensive Player of the Year. Michael Jordan, like I say, can guard point guards, guard shooting guards. And his iconic defensive moment to me was 1992 NBA Finals. Portland Trail Blazers versus Chicago Bulls. Michael Jordan versus Clyde the Glide Drexler. Everybody was comparing Jordan and Drexler. Michael Jordan took that very personal. You know, Clyde the Glide was the only one, flying through the air other than Jordan. He was the only other two guard out there that could, fly through the air. That's why they called him Clyde the Glide. He was a Western Conference All-Star shooting guard starter. Michael Jordan was the Eastern Conference All-Star shooting guard starter. So you got the best from both conferences. Clyde Drexler was averaging 25 points in the regular season, close to 50% from the field. Michael Jordan say, I'm tired of people comparing me to Clyde Drexler. I'm taking this matchup personal. NBA Finals come around 1992. Clyde Drexler numbers dropped to 24 points per game, and he's shooting 40% from the field. It's all MJ. He took that matchup personal. He say, offensively, I'm going at him every time, and defensively, I'm sitting down, I'm locking him up. He said this in The Last Dance. He said, I took Clyde Drexler matchup personal because people kept comparing us, and he felt there was no comparison, and it's not. Clyde Drexler numbers dropped, field goal percentage dropped from, high 40s to almost 50% to 40%, high 30s. MJ right there. That was his iconic moment defensively. But before that, he was 1988 Defensive Player of the Year, so MJ had been locking up on defense. So MJ coming in at number one, defensive guards. Number two, Gary Payton. Gary Payton was the second guard after Michael Jordan to win Defensive Player of the Year. Gary Payton won Defensive Player of the Year in 1996. And all these guys tie in together. I'm going to tell you how. I'm going to bring it all together. All these guys got some history together too. But Gary Payton, like I say, 1996 Defensive Player of the Year. First guard to win it after Michael Jordan. His big defensive iconic moment was the 1996 NBA Finals. Sonics played the Bulls. MJ was having his way with the Sonics games 1 through 3, averaging almost 35, 36 points per game. Gary Payton went up to his coach, George Karl, and said, let me check him. He already killing us. What more? We can't do nothing worse now. Let me get a shot at him. So the glove, Gary Payton, Defensive Player of the Year that year too. This is 1996 NBA Finals, keep in mind. For whatever it's worth, Michael Jordan, numbers dropped, games 4 through 6, because the Bulls beat him in 6. But they put Gary Payton on them. You look back at the highlights, Gary Payton was making them work. You look back at the 1996 NBA Finals games, 4 through 6, Gary Payton made Jordan work. He made Jordan work. So for whatever it's worth, the glove did its thing. In The Last Dance, Jordan, it's an iconic meme. Jordan got the laptop. When he seen what Gary Payton said, he just laughed at him. That's the iconic moment from The Last Dance when Gary Payton said he stopped Michael Jordan, but his numbers dropped a little bit, so what more can you say? And Gary Payton was the Defensive Player of the Year that year, so he had something to do with it. Jordan's still the GOAT, but Gary Payton made him work. What can you say? So Gary Payton coming in at number 2. As far as all-time defensive guards, now stick with me. All-time defensive guards. Coming in at number 3, Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant actually learned from Gary Payton. Gary Payton tell this story all the time. 2000 All-Star game, Kobe Bryant went up to Gary Payton. Gary Payton, an All-Star for the Seattle Supersonics. Kobe Bryant, an All-Star for the Los Angeles Lakers. He goes up to Gary Payton and says, man, teach me some tactics. I want to learn. And there's video on the internet of Kobe Bryant, getting some lessons from Gary Payton. So Kobe Bryant was a student of the game. Defensively, 9-time all-defensive team. Gary Payton, also 9-time all-defensive team. First team, too. These are first team guys that I'm talking about. MJ, 9-time first team all-NBA. Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and Gary Payton, all 9-time first team all-NBA. Yeah, Kobe Bryant say, I want to learn. You go up to GP, learn some tactics, learn some defensive skills. So 2000 All-Star game, Kobe Bryant learned from Gary Payton. Ever since then, he was a 9-time all-NBA defensive player. From that point on. First team, keep that in mind. Kobe Bryant, iconic defensive moment. 2002, Western Conference Finals. Mike Bibby for the Kings, averaging 15 points in the regular season. Steady point guard, didn't have to score much. Playoffs come around, Mike Bibby ups his averages to 23, 25 points per game. Kings playing the Lakers. Mike Bibby is killing Derek Fisher. Mike Bibby killing him with the hop dribble. He's kind of awkward, kind of crafty. Killing Derek Fisher. What does Phil Jackson do? He had to put Kobe on him. Kobe didn't stop Bibby. Bibby still went crazy in that Western Conference Finals, but he slowed Bibby down. Kobe Bryant definitely slowed Bibby down, slowed the Kings' offense down, because had they not made that switch, Bibby and C-Webb was killing them on that pick and roll. Bibby coming off that pick, firing every time. But Phil Jackson say, hey, I got to make a switch. He took his 2-guard, Kobe Bryant, put him on Mike Bibby, the point guard. Like I say, these guys could guard point guards and shooting guards, small forwards too, depending on the task at hand. Kobe Bryant took the challenge. Guard Mike Bibby, 2002 Western Conference Finals. Like I said, Mike Bibby upped his averages to almost 25 points per game with the Kings that season. Regular season, he's only averaging 14, 15. Yeah, Kobe Bryant, 9-time first team all-defensive player. Guard Mike Bibby, that was his iconic moment defensively when you knew, okay, he's versatile, he can guard multiple positions, and he takes that side of the ball just as serious as he takes offense. So Kobe Bryant coming in at number 3. Coming in at number 4, Tony Allen. Tony Allen, 6-time first team all defense. He played for the Boston Celtics, Memphis Grizzlies. This guy was very agile, long arms, very tough. Kevin Durant, Kobe Bryant both said, hey, Tony Allen's toughest defender I ever had to face. Tony Allen's gritty. He get over those screens. He's going to play tough. He's gritty. He's going to play tough, Tony Allen. His iconic defensive moment, 2013, Western Conference Finals, Grizzlies Thunder. This is when people start noticing, can KD handle physicality? KD, It's getting a little bogged up by Tony Allen and that Memphis defense. KD averages dipped down. He was shooting high 40s regular season. Against Memphis Grizzlies, he shot low 40s. Six-time All-Defensive Player Tony Allen coming in at number 4. Coming in at number 5, Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday, four-time All-Defensive First-Team NBA player, NBA champion, Memphis Grizzlies, or Milwaukee Bucks. Sorry about that. Yeah, Jrue Holiday lock up can guard point guards, 2 guards. His iconic moment defensively was when he locked down Damian Lillard, 2017 Western semifinals playoffs, Blazers Pelicans. Damian Lillard, we was questioning him, man. Like, what's wrong with Damian Lillard? We didn't know what was going on. Jrue Holiday locked him up. Locked up Devin Booker and Chris Paul, NBA Finals 2021. So Jrue Holiday coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 6, Joe Dumars, part of the Bad Boys, Pistons. His iconic moments with, guarding Jordan, late 90s. 4-time All-Defense, first team. Wrap it up kind of quick, but getting ugly out here. But Joe Dumars wrap it up, coming in at number 6, 4-time All-Defense. His iconic moment was against Jordan in the late 90s. So, Jordan even said Joe Dumars the toughest defender I ever had to face. So, all defensive guards, gave you 6 of them. All these guys are champions too. Wait to keep coming back with another one. Comment, like, subscribe, share the video, say the video.